This meeting is being recorded.
All right, everybody, it is go time. It is 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we're going to honor everyone's time today and go ahead and get the show on the road. Before we get into that, I want to do a couple introductories first. For those that don't know me, my name is Philip Lamar. I'm one of the national sales directors here with Acmg. Also have on the call my good friend, the CEO and founder of Acmg, Rob Swander. He joined us today. And for those that aren't familiar with Acmg, it stands for American Central Marketing Group. And we're proud to say we're one of the biggest IMO FMOs in the country. We have the honor of working with thousands and thousands of agents all over the U.S. and all 50 states. And folks, really our whole goal, or I would even say our passion, our drive is to work with folks just like yourself by helping you find the best products, the best carriers, the latest and greatest technology, and of course, the best commission schedules possible that's available in the industry. So that's what we do all day, every day is we connect agents with the best products, the best commissions. And today's call is doing exactly that. I'm very excited to introduce Bill here with Ethos in a minute. But before I do that, I want to give Bill a little bit more of a grand intro because he's a grand guy. So I'm sure all of us here sell life insurance, right? That's probably why you saw the email that we sent. It's probably why you joined the call. Life insurance is a big part of the insurance industry. We all sell it. Now, I'm sure we all can also agree that we've shared the issues, the problems that come along with selling life insurance, right? There's a lot of complications. It pays great. Everyone needs life insurance. It's a need-based business. You know, at some point, everyone's going to pass away. You don't want to leave your loved ones with any outstanding debts, with final expense costs. Everyone needs life insurance. However, when it comes to the agent side of things, selling it, and the consumer or the client side of things, buying it, there really are problems on both sides, right? For an agent, you have to go through underwriting. For a client, you have to go through underwriting. We all here know that can take 4, 5, 6 weeks. I've had cases that have taken 3 months before. It's a long process before a sale can close. We've all had a underwriter or somebody tell us that someone would be preferred, maybe standard, but hey, it comes back, they get a worse rating than you thought. And then you have to explain the news to your client that their rate's higher, right? The sales process can be long. It can be grueling, right? There's so many things that go into the process of selling insurance. But what if I told you that there is a way where you can sell top-rated life insurance products that's streamlined, that's efficient in time, that's quick, that you can close policies, some even the same day, if not within a couple of business days. It's quick, it's easy to do an application. It takes the process from weeks to minutes or days. What if I told you that is an actual thing and that's real? Because I'm not kidding, it is real. And that's what today's call is all about. What if I told you that there are options where you can get 12-month advances for commissions? What if I told you that there are ways where you can make selling life insurance easy and consumers can buy it easily? Well, that is why we are on today's call. And ladies and gentlemen, our good friend over at Ethos Life, Bill, is going to tell you exactly why this is not too good to be true. It is an actual reality. And there are agents that are doing this all over, and it's getting very popular. And this is the last thing I'll hit on. We'll get into it, really dive into the details. The next group of consumers are Gen Z, millennials, and I can speak for, I'm a millennial. I can tell you my generation likes quick, efficient sales process, and Ethos found a way to do that. So if you're in the business and you plan on being in the business over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, the people that are going to be buying from you are going to be 20, 25, 30. So you definitely want to stay on top of the game. So without further ado, Bill, go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Hey, thank you very much. I couldn't have agreed more with everything you just said right now. Welcome, everybody. I want to thank Robert and Philip for having me on today. And I want to thank you all for coming on. My name is Bill Kennedy. I'm a partnerships account manager here at Ethos Life. And if you've been with Ethos for a little bit, or if you're just signing up right now, which I encourage you to do, if you've been with us a little bit, you might have had account managers, different account managers for different agents. We've streamlined that process. I am going to be the account manager for every single Acmg agent who signs up. So when you sign up, I'll be the one reaching out to you to help onboard you. And if you're already on board, I'm the one you can reach out to for tips, for any advice I can give you, or for any systems stuff that I can help you with whatsoever here at Ethos. I've been in the insurance business for more than a decade exclusively. Been in the financial services business since the 90s. I am not a millennial. But I will tell you that I came over to Ethos very specifically and with purpose, because I really believed in the mission and the process and the technology that Ethos has. Ethos is really a technology company that has built everything else around it. And, you know, Philip hit on this a little bit when we were starting out. I've been in the business for a long time. Every year I read studies by LIMRA, the Life Insurance Marketing Research Association. Every year they do a survey of 5,000 Americans, and they get some great findings, but there's always two things that they find that are recurrent year after year after year. The first off is that most Americans know that they need life insurance. The life insurance business has changed. If you're my age or a little bit older, well, guess what? When you graduated from college, when you graduated from high school, you knew people in the life insurance business. There were life insurance offices all around on every corner. So people signed up all the time. There's far fewer people out there selling life insurance now today than there used to be, which is surprising. And one of the results of that is most people know that they need more life insurance and they don't have it. The second thing that this LIMRA study always finds out is that the number one obstacle is just what Philip was hitting on. It's not price. The number one obstacle is they think it's going to be a long, difficult, and time-consuming process. And again, that's why I came to Ethos. We were dedicated to remove those obstacles. We've got an online application, just takes clients 5 to 10 minutes online. Clients can fill it out themselves online. It's a client-directed application. And once it's done, the client's done. There's no exam to follow up with. There's no blood draw. There's no additional meeting that they have to get themselves underwritten. We're able to underwrite the vast majority of our business within 2 or 3 days. Some is immediate. 75 to 80% we can underwrite within 2 to 3 days. And then for that small percent that we do have to do additional underwriting on, it's because we have to get additional doctor's office information. Ethos Life will do all that case management. We'll work directly with the doctor's office and the client if we have to, and make sure we get all that information back to the underwriter to make a quick decision. So our average turnaround time is 3 days, versus 4, 5, 6 weeks. And that's exactly why I came to Ethos, and that's why I'm excited to talk to you guys about the process here. A few things we're going to cover today, and I did want to remind everybody, I would love to have all the questions that you have. Please put them in that chat box, any question that you have whatsoever. Yep, we are recording this call just to remind everybody, so you'll have a copy of this from Philip and Robert later. But any questions you have, please put them in the chat box. I'll answer them, as many as I can, towards the end of the session. We're going to learn about the basics of life. We're going to walk you through the step-by-step how to position Ethos with a potential client, and then some helpful Cadence follow-ups after you send that quote out to somebody, the best ways to follow up to ensure that you can get that business. So Life Insurance 101, let me get back to that. Keep it simple. That's the key. It doesn't have to be complicated. I know a lot of people make life insurance complicated. We are dedicated to making life insurance simple. So as my first boss always used to tell me, keep it simple, stupid. And I've tried to do that. So, what is life insurance? Real quickly, it's a way to provide financial protections for your loved ones. A life insurance policy ensures that if you die, while your policy is active, your loved ones will receive a lump sum benefit known as a death benefit. That's almost always tax-free, and it'll help them cover things like the mortgage, like rent payments, like education costs for the kids, funeral arrangements, keeping your family in the lifestyle to which they've become accustomed. That's what life insurance is all about. It's about protecting the ones you love. If anybody here is a multi-line agent, if you sell homeowners and auto policies, life insurance is a natural snap-on. As I said, I've been dedicated to life insurance for the last several years. Prior to coming over to Ethos, I was at a much more old-fashioned company, but we were working primarily with multi-line agents. I was with AAA Life Insurance, working with AAA agents, giving them best ideas how to cross-sell life. The cross-sell process was a piece of cake. The only hassle that we used to have at AAA Life Insurance was getting those applications in was difficult, time-consuming, took a long time to even just apply. And then the underwriting took on average 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And there was a lot of case management that agents had to do. So we've eliminated all that, but we still want to make sure that people have that protection that they need. Mortgage protection is a great way to help ensure your family can remain in their home if life goes unscripted. And that's the real key. You protect your finances if the house burns down, if there's a hail, you name it. You also want to protect your family if you're not around to make those mortgage payments anymore. There are a lot of similarities between property and casualty and life. There's an agreement between an individual and an insurance company. The individual agrees to make payments, which are called premiums, and the life insurance company agrees to pay a benefit, and that benefit is the face amount of the life insurance. And quite frankly, life insurance benefits get paid out faster and easier than really the benefits of almost only any other insurance policy, because there's not a lot of questions about it. Either the person's passed away or they haven't. And once we find that out, we can get those beneficiaries their check right away. If anybody here has been in the life business for a while, you know this. I've been in the life business for a long time. The very first time you hand someone that death benefit and you've paid a death claim, that's when you are dedicated to, I'm going to offer life insurance to every single person I meet. Because when you see the look on the family, the wife, the husband, that you're handing that check to, and you can tell them, listen, here's one thing you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about money. I know there's a lot of expenses. I know you have to pay the rent still. I know you have to pay the mortgage still. There's a lot of things you have to worry about. You're not going to worry about money because your spouse took care of you. And the very first time you hand over one of those death claim checks, you are converted, and you're going to offer life insurance to everybody you talk to. And the nice thing is most people you talk to know that they need more life. Yep, pay the benefit insured. I think I covered that. All right, let's talk a little bit about Ethos specifically. So we talked a little bit about life insurance, why it's important, particularly for mortgage protection. It's really important. People need life insurance. Most people need more than they have. But how do you talk about Ethos specifically? What makes us different? Fortunately, there's a lot of things that make us different, and there's a lot of things that you can say about it. Here's a little snapshot of our process. It's important that we have a cell phone here because all of our technology is completely mobile enabled. When you send a quote out to your client can read that email. They might be reading that email on a cell phone. They might be reading that email on a tablet, an iPad. They might be reading that email on an old-fashioned desktop computer in their home. It doesn't matter what device they're reading that email on. They can see that quote, and they can see the little apply button underneath that quote, and they can apply online. And our application, again, is fully mobile enabled. It doesn't matter what kind of device you have. It's only going to take about 10 minutes, and it's going to be a seamless process. So we've got, and we've been around a little over 5 years now. So well before the pandemic happened and so many applications became online, we were perfecting the online application, and we've got it perfected because we've been doing it for so long. So we've got really the best online application in the business. And then our underwriting engine, again, a real focus of our organization, the technology that we put into it. We do things that other companies don't do in terms of being able to offer up to $2 million in life insurance with no medical exam. That doesn't mean we're not underwriting. We are underwriting. We just do it in a better and more sophisticated way. We look at a lot of great information. We look at a lot of information other folks don't look at. We look at things like credit information, publicly available online data, and we're able to use that to underwrite people much, much quicker than the industry standard. And then from there, clients can check out themselves. Not only do they do the application themselves, but once they're approved, whether it's immediate, which it often is, or if it takes a couple days, or even if it takes a couple weeks because we had to do a little bit of additional research. Once that coverage is offered, they can just go online and immediately accept that coverage, process their first premium payment via credit card or ACH, and they're going to be covered right away. And then we have a great administrative platform for clients. Once their policy is established, they can download their policy documents, they can update payment information, they can do things like beneficiary changes all online very quickly and efficiently through the Ethos client portal. There's a little circle down there with the number 86. I do want to point out what that means. That is NPS. NPS is called Net Promoter Score, something that most big companies, most client-facing companies do. When somebody's done purchasing something from them, auto companies do it, and financial services companies do it too. Once somebody's done purchasing something, they send them a quiz. Hey, would you recommend us to someone? Did you enjoy the process? Would you recommend us to someone else? Our current NPS score, Net Promoter Score, is 86. That means 86% of the clients who came in to purchase life insurance from us went on to go ahead and say, yes, I would definitely recommend at a high level to my friends and family, because the process was so smooth and so easy. And that's going to reflect well on you as well as the agent making that quote. And just for comparison's sake, industry average is under 50% for the life insurance industry, because people do view, and it very often is, a difficult, cumbersome process to get insured. We make it so easy. 86, we're 30, 40 above the industry average in terms of net promoter score. And then you want to take advantage of that also by having that good feeling that clients are going to have when you offer them life insurance through us. So you might ask, how do I bring it up? How do I bring up life insurance to my clients? How do I bring up Ethos to my clients? And I always want to make sure, I highly recommend every single person you talk to, if you haven't offered them life insurance yet, and even if you have, offer it to them again. Make that offer out there. It does not have to be a long, drawn-out process. Just can be very simple. And you also want to give people that ability to step away if they don't want to get a life insurance offer right now, or they think they're all set. You don't have to spend a lot of time with them, but you definitely want to make this offer to them. So we've got a couple of great little things, and as Philip said, we'll send this PowerPoint document out to you later as well. Thanks again for choosing to insure your home. Many clients also look at getting term to help with mortgage protection should things not go as planned. Can I send you a link? Does that sound good? Major carriers recommend 10 or 20 times their annual income for term life insurance. You might consider being a bit more conservative and going with 10 times. Another consideration is if you have enough life insurance to cover your mortgage should something happen. With your permission, I'd like to send you a link for a no obligation quote. And here's where it really comes in. Here's where the ethos part comes in handy. When you're sending somebody a life insurance quote, their little antenna might go up. Hey, I tried to apply for life insurance once before, and it took me weeks, and I didn't end up even getting covered. Or I heard a story about a guy that same thing happened to. You can explain to people at that point, hey, the application is only going to take a few minutes. There's no medical exam required, just a few health-related questions online. That way you'll know what your options are when you're done. Are you good with that? Most people are. So a little bit about our product set. We started out selling just term life, and we in the last couple of years have also mixed in whole life insurance to what we do. We do have two very strong niches that we fill. The first one is income replacement for people 65 and under. That's kind of our bread and butter. That's what we started out doing. That is one of the key life insurance protections that we really believe in. We feel very strongly that most people who are working, who are 65 and under, they have someone that they want to take care of and protect, and they really need to have enough term life insurance to take care of them. So we offer term to folks, again, 65 and under. Important thing to know about term is term, the price never changes. It's going to be for a specified amount of time, and then that coverage will cease. So it doesn't matter if it's 10, 20, 30 years, however long they might need that. Maybe you want to match someone's mortgage, match until their kids get through college. Either way, that term coverage is really important about protecting families during their working years. And then the other niche that we have is focused on final expense. We have whole life insurance available for final expense. Just quiz for the team out there. First person who answers this one, I bet you guys have heard this before, but just in case, my very first foray into life insurance, I got asked this question, and it's really stuck with me. And the question is, what's the best kind of life insurance to buy? There's so many different kinds of life insurance. There's term, there's whole, there's universal. There's any number of bells and whistles on every product. What is the best type of life insurance to buy? There you go. Thomas, thank you. You got in there fast. And that's exactly it. It's the kind that will be there when you need it. It's the kind of enforced when you die. That's the best kind of life insurance. And that doesn't mean that term insurance isn't important, because there is a chance that something can happen when you're young and when you're working, and you need to have term to protect your family. And that is there as a safety measure just in case. And it's relatively inexpensive for the amount. It's actually very inexpensive for the amount of coverage you're going to get. The whole life on the other side, that's there to be there till the very end. You're going to purchase that with the intention of keeping that policy until your family can cash it in. And I always recommend people have some sort of policy like that for final expenses. And final expenses are not just funeral expenses. Funeral expenses are getting more and more expensive, and depending upon what part of the country you're on, it might average somewhere near $20,000. But even if you expect your funeral expenses to be low, there's also a lot of other expenses that happen, unfortunately, particularly when an older loved one passes away. I went through it myself just this past year. I had a parent who passed away who had an old house, the house that I grew up in. There were a lot of expenses involved in getting that house together and getting that house sold. Estate sales, moving everything out, a lot of repair that had to be done before we could put it on the market, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And those things can all be very costly, and having a life insurance coverage can take care of a lot of that for your family. So that is kind of our other niche. We have a couple of different options in terms of whole life. We have one option, a couple options that have underwriting. If someone is healthy and they can answer no to, have you had a stroke? Have you had a heart attack? Are you in an assisted living facility right now? If they can answer no to those, we can get them coverage through a simplified issue product. We've also got a guaranteed acceptance product. So if someone is unwilling, or if they are not going to be able to answer no to those health questions, they have had a stroke, they have had a heart attack, they do have health concerns where they're not going to be able to get coverage any other way, we've got a guaranteed acceptance product. And that is it's a good old-fashioned graded benefit policy. And that means for the first 2 years, it's not going to pay the full face amount, but after 2 years, that full face amount kicks in. Let's say it's $20,000. But the great thing about our guaranteed acceptance product is, even if something were to happen in the first 2 years, the beneficiaries would not just get nothing. They would actually get a great benefit. They would get a calculation of 100% of premiums paid plus a 10% interest rate factor. So we've got products, again, for those term, and we've got a great coverage set for people looking for final expense policies towards the end of life too. So what are some great engaging questions you might ask? 1, 2, and 3. I particularly like 2 here, because I think this really appeals to why you buy life insurance. People don't buy life insurance for themselves. People don't get anything out of life insurance. They might be buying a cash value policy for the cash value during their living years, but overall, life insurance is not for you. Life insurance is for the ones you love. And how does that make you feel? So how would it make you feel knowing that your family could stay in your home if life went unplanned? That's the kind of question you ask, and it's like, wow, it would make me feel great. Well, then let's do it. So again, I talked about our product lineup. I talked about our systems that are so easy. We've got a great portal. Actually, our portal is new and updated, and I'm going to change the way I share real quickly here. And I'm going to share my Google Chrome with you guys real quickly, if I can do that easily. There we go. And I'm going to take you to the client portal. So our brand new client portal, is updated. It's got a lot of great new functionality, but the process is still just as simple as it used to be. When you sign in, you're going to come to this page. It's going to show you, you'll be able to track all the quotes you've run, and I'm going to show you why it's important to track the quotes you've run. Your applications, mine's blank, but as you start having clients apply, you'll get a full dashboard with all the information. And as those applications turn into policies, you'll be able to track it. The most important thing here on the portal is our quick quoter. It just takes a minute to send a quote out to a client, and they can get covered right away. So you only need to know a couple of basic pieces of information for someone to get a quote out to them. I'm just putting in a woman in her 40s. So I'll use California. We do talk about credit estimate in our quick quoter. It's a little bit unique. That's because that's one of the elements we're actually looking at during our underwriting process. If someone has a lot of difficulty with credit or a recent bankruptcy, and we know that ahead of time, we can give them a more accurate quote right away because they are going to be put into a slightly more expensive product. Most people are in the average category. Then we have the typical smoker non-question. Then we have health class. From the day I entered the life insurance business and sold my first life policy 30 plus years ago till today, I've always quoted people at standard. If it comes in at a better rate class, the client is going to get the better price. It doesn't mean that they're not going to get the better price if we can't get it for them. And that way you have the ability to under promise and over deliver for folks. Hey, by the way, I know I quoted you $100 for that policy. It actually came in at $76 because you were preferred. That's great. But yeah, then once you have just a couple of real quick pieces of information, click the view quote. This is a new enhancement. If you guys haven't been in the portal for a while, we can just really easily select our coverage amount. I'm going to do just a $500,000 policy. The system automatically recommended the term policy, but if I know that I'm going to look at the guaranteed acceptance as an example, which is that guaranteed policy with no underwriting, I can go ahead and quote right into that. But then once I say, okay, I want $500,000 for 20 years, I'm good to go. I just click on that and type in their information, and I'm going to send them that email. And the email is going to look a little bit like this. And then right below this text, there's going to be a little apply button. And again, clients can apply online. It'll take them just 10 minutes, and they can apply right from that email that you send them. Can't spend too much time over here, but then there's also just a lot of other great informational resources for you on the website or on the agent portal that didn't used to be there. One-stop shop. You can run all your quotes. You can track all the business that you're writing, all from the same spot. Now let's get back real quickly to our PowerPoint. All right. So here's some best practices in follow-up cadence. So you sent that quote out to your client, but your job is done for the most part, but you do want to remind them to go in there and take action. The nice thing is the portal is going to let you know when the client's applied. So if they went ahead and got that application going, you'll get an email. You'll also see it in your portal. But just in case they don't apply immediately, you have a great idea to follow through with some sort of follow-up. You can make phone calls, emails, text messages, handwritten notes are awesome. For those who still do that, I find them to be very effective. The only issue is snail mail takes a little bit more time, but yeah, for people who get those handwritten notes, they love it. So an example cadence is day one, you sent that initial quote out. I just showed you, it just takes a minute to do online, shoot the quote out to somebody. On day three, you can just go in and take a look at the quotes you sent out. Okay, here are the quotes I sent out 3 days ago. I'm gonna make follow-up calls. Hey, Joe, just wanted to follow up to make sure you received the email I got. Did you get it? That's all you got to say. Okay, that's it. And then, day 5, same thing. I just wanted to make sure. Ethos is a great way to get mortgage protection. It's only a 10-minute process. I just wanted to make sure you knew that as you're looking at that quote and you see that apply button, you know that hitting that apply button is just going to take up 10 minutes of your time. It's not going to be any obligation. And again, third day, you might want to do a phone call along with an email and maybe even resend your quote on that 8th day. Another thing that Ethos Life is going to do for you, we actually have an automated process where we're going to send up follow-up emails as well. You use that quick quoter to send an email out to your client. We will also send an email every 3 days for a total of 4. We're not going to do more than 4, but every 3 days for the next week and a half, we'll send just a very gentle reminder. Hey, a reminder you received this quote on Tuesday. If you haven't applied yet, make sure you apply. Then, clients complete the application, then what? That's a really important question. After it's approved, all that's left is for the client to go in and activate the coverage. And then from there, they can download their digital policy. Activating their coverage just means that they go in, they say, yes, I accept this term length, this face amount, and go ahead and put my credit card or my bank account information in to make my very first premium payment. We don't take any premium payments until we've made them an offer. So we're not going to bind that coverage ahead of time until we've actually made them an offer. And we can do that because it's not going to be a month generally. It's not going to be a month and a half, 3 months sometimes before we're going to be able to make them an offer. We can generally make people offer, if not that same day, within a couple of days. And you can always track the status of your submitted application using that customers tab over in the agent portal. That's going to be the default that when you log into the portal, that's going to take you to. Then after that, you're ready to get paid. And as Philip mentioned, we do pay in advance. So we have a weekly commission process. If you were able to get some policies activated this week, you send a few quotes out this week, they get activated before Friday at close. We will on Thursday include that in our next commission cycle. And that'll be a commission based upon the full 12 months first year annual premium, and you'll get that commission sent out to you right away. And then a quick compliance note. This is actually really important, so I won't keep it as quick as maybe. Obviously, you always want to act within the scope of your license. When you do, if you haven't signed up already, one thing we do ask you to do right after you sign up is go to that settings tab in the agent portal and just add download a copy of your E&O coverage, your coverage page of your E&O policy. We just need to make sure you have E&O coverage, and then just type in your state life license number. If you're licensed in multiple states, that's awesome. Type as many states as you can. The only state that you don't want to type in is New York, because unfortunately we are not licensed to do business in New York right now. But other than that, any state that you're licensed in, we will also be licensed in other than New York, and you'll be able to get paid commissions on them if you have a license in that state. We always recommend you use our default Ethos marketing material. That's plenty of that available online right there in the portal. All advertising has to be honest and transparent. If you use the default pieces, you don't have to worry about that. The Can Spam Act, everybody knows about that already. It's just a great reminder. Never call or text a customer unless you've already got their written consent. We don't want to be breaking the Can Spam Act. And then applications, and this is unique to us. So it's really important that everybody knows that applications are completed by the applicant. To me, that's a real benefit as an agent. You don't have to spend that time with them. You don't have to ask them a lot of potentially embarrassing personal questions. You can just say, hey, it's an online application. It only takes you 10 minutes. It's very fast. They are going to ask you some health questions. I always recommend, hey, if you have any prescriptions, make sure you have them handy so you can answer them right online. It's a great, easy application process, and you do not have to be part of it. And quite frankly, if you are doing the application, you're probably breaking the rules. So yeah, definitely have applicants apply on their own. And that is the end of the presentation. I'm going to start taking a look at the chats now. I do have one other important piece of information, and that is because we're doing a special promotion right now. So we're doing a promotion here for the month of March, and this applies to existing veteran agents as well as brand new agents who are signing up right now. Any policy that you as an agent can activate between now and the 31st of March, you're going to get a $100 bonus, and that's on top of your regular commission. So from as many policies as you can activate between now and the 31st, you'll get a $100 bonus on each and every one. There's no maximum. So it's a great way to start out fast or to get going faster if you've already started out with us, and get as many apps in as you can here for the month of March. And hopefully we're hoping to pay a ton of those bonuses out. So the more apps you can get in, the more bonuses you'll get.
Love it. Love it. Bill, this is Phil here. Before we get into questions, want to say great presentation. You killed it, Bill. Very, very good. I hope everyone saw some value. Actually, I'm pretty sure you did find a lot of value in today's presentation. And so we're going to get into questions. Want to hit on something real quick for those that may have joined halfway through or after the start time. If you want today's presentation, we did record it. So this whole meeting from start to finish was recorded. All you have to do is email us at agentservices@acmgsales.com. I'm actually going to go ahead and throw it in the chat. If you look in the chat, I threw up our email in there. Just email us. We'll send you the recording. That way you can view this. But we're going to throw in the link to get contracted here. The nice thing about getting appointed with Ethos, it is by far the easiest appointing process from any insurance company in the business. By the way, it takes, what would you say, Bill, 5 minutes to get like all of your work done, appointed?
Correct. Yeah. The longest
so
part is
quick.
Just uploading that E&O insurance.
It's so easy and so convenient. There's some, companies and carriers, it takes you a hot minute to get appointed, but let's go ahead and get into some questions. Bill, we have some phenomenal questions in here. I don't know if you've been looking at the chat, but
Yep.
We had a lot of really good questions. And so if you want to start at the top, we can work our way down.
I think
Ray.
Raise. Yep. That's the first one I saw. If a client gets approved, will there be an option to increase coverage? Yes, that's a great question. So once that approval comes in, the client is going to have basically a sliding scale option, and they can choose the coverage that they originally applied for. But they'll have a scale that's going to show them their different options. If you go from 250 to 500, it'll be X. If you go from, and it'll actually show them in terms of terms too. So yet when they lock in that coverage at the very end, they will have the option to upsell them if they choose to do that. What are the companies you deal with, and what kind of commissions do you pay? We do pay a year in advance. Definitely, I will default to Robert and Philip for the exact commission rates that are going to be part of it. But I will tell you that all of our companies are A+ rated. So we have two different companies we work with on the term side. Banner, LGA, most people have heard of. Ameritas is the other one. Again, also A+. And then for the whole life side, our primary carrier for that is TrueStage. TrueStage, not too many people have heard of, but they're actually quite big. They are the life insurance subsidiary of CUNA Mutual. CUNA Mutual is the organization that has advisors in all of the credit unions. It's a credit union national association, I think. So they're quite big as well. So it's going to be one of those three companies, depending upon what product they get. And yeah, they're all AM Best A+ rated.
Bill, do you mind if I hit on the commission question real quick?
I would love it.
I think a lot of folks have asked that and are thinking that as well. So kind of want to hit on two things. Number one, as far as comp goes, because ACMG, our partnership with Ethos, we are the FMO IMO. So commissions, we offer the top commissions for whatever your setup is. So whether you're a GA, an MGA, if you have a downline on you, 5, 10, 15, 20, 100 agents, if you're just a solo producer, we offer all those different contracts, and that depends. Some of the levels start off at 70%. Some of them start off at 100%, if not more. It just depends on what your operation is. And obviously, we're more than happy to set you up with that appropriate compensation level, depending on, what your agent situation looks like. So all you have to do, email us at agentservices@acmgsales.com. If you open up the chat, you'll see I put it in there. So just email us. We'll send you the entire commission schedule. Let us know what your situation looks like. If you have, 20 agents, you're operating as a GA. Well, guess what? We'll more than happily set you up as a GA. You'll get an override on every single piece of business that your agents write. Same deal with you. So just reach out to us. We'll let you know what exactly your level is. But also, I know a lot of people ask this and kind of want to hit on this as well, Bill. People are asking, do you have to get contracted individually with the carriers? Bill, you can shed light on this, but from my understanding, nope, you just get contracted with Ethos and that completes the whole process. Is that right, Bill?
Exactly. So yeah, you're going to be a partner agent with us, and you're not going to have to go through that entire appointment process with every carrier. If you are appointed with, and the other question I get asked quite a bit, if you are appointed with another carrier, Banner would be a great example of them. That is not going to interfere with your current relationship with Banner. If you sometimes sell Banner's retail product, our product is different. The underwriting is different. The application is different. I think better. Yeah, if you already have a relationship with Banner or selling under Banner, working with us, even when you're selling the term Banner product, is not going to interfere with that relationship. It's not an either or.
Perfect. Yeah, one more time, Bill, and please keep going through this question, but one more time for everybody. As far as commissions go, we always offer the top contracts in the industry. And so just emails at agent services. We will send you your commission schedule. Again, just let us know. Do you have agents? Are you still a producer? We have your contracts appropriate for you. And if you're interested in getting started, we actually, the CEO of Acmg, my business partner, Rob, actually just threw it in there. So all you have to do is click that link. Everyone open up the chat real quick. Do me a favor, open up the chat. Look at that most recent link. Click that link. Or if you don't want to sign up now, just copy it into a browser and do it after our Q&A right now. But that's the link to get set up. So let's keep blazing through these questions, Bill.
Yep. So we got two related ones, living benefits and convertibility. That is another thing that's a little bit unique. Our term products do not have living benefits. They don't have things like child term riders and other stuff. And they're actually not convertible either. They're really built stripped down, if you will, to be really focused specifically on replacing income during your working years. So they don't have a lot of those other bells and whistles, which is one of the reasons why we can make it a much faster and easier process for them. Our proposal is based on actual age or age nearest. That's a great question. Actually, for our term, it's going to be age nearest. For the whole life product, it's actual age. For those folks who don't know what age nearest, it's kind of a trick that a lot of insurance companies do, and if you're within 6 months of your birthday, they're going to round up and quote you at that next birthday price. So if you're 57 3/4, you're going to get quoted at that age 58. But the quote machine does that automatically, and as I said, the term products will be quoted to that price, and then the whole life products won't. We got carriers. I think we answered that already. Marijuana friendly, great question. I would not say marijuana friendly, but yes, that is an ongoing. I just had one yesterday that we approved. We do ask marijuana related questions on the application, and no, that is not a knockout event for any of our products. There are occasions where you'll be put into smoker classes, things like that. But in general, marijuana is something that we handle quite a bit of these days. Another commission questions, great questions. Let's see. You have to be appointed with a carrier. Oh, we've already answered a lot of these. This is great. Does Ethos pay renewals? Another great question. Yeah, we pay that 6 month. Or 6 month, we pay that 12-month advance, and actually that's it. So there's not a renewal premium or anything like that. It's just that 12-month upfront. Great question. My phone number. Let me actually give everybody my email address in here in the chat if anybody wants to get a hold of me. It's just bill.kennedy@getethos.com. Oh, let me try that again. Kennedy@get. I'm having issues. There we go. There you go. I just sent everybody my email address if anybody wants to get a hold of me. I'm happy to help anybody out in any way. Residuals, I think we talked about that one already. Heart disease or heart attack. It's actually going to be a 5-year window for heart disease. When you guys are in the portal, we've got a great learning piece that's got the knockout questions for all of our products right there. So I highly recommend you go into the learning section of the portal, and you can look up all those knockout questions. Hierarchy for downlines, I'm going to defer that to you guys.
Yes, absolutely. If you have a downline of agents, if you get appointed today, which you'll see the contracts in there, it takes 5 minutes. It's super easy to sign up with Ethos, and that connects you to all the carriers, by the way. All you have to do is contract, and then share the link with your agents. Communicate with us. Send us an email at agentservices@acmgsales.com. And all of your downline, if you distribute Ethos to them, you will absolutely get overrides on every piece of business they write. So, yep. And then again, for more people that didn't catch it, as far as commissions go, email us at agentservices@acmgsales.com. We'll send you the commission schedule. Again, it just depends on if you're a GA, MGA, solo agent. Some products with Ethos start off 70%. Some are 100%. It just depends on what your specific situation is. So just email us. We'll send you the full commission schedule. Also, if you want the recording, you can get that as well. And again, we put the link to sign up for Ethos to get appointed. It's in the chat, so you can click that.
You got a question here also about lead generation. Ethos does not, we're not in the lead generation business ourselves, but we do have a lot of agents who are in the business of purchasing leads. And because of that, we actually worked out a special discount with one of the bigger lead generation companies, a company called EverQuote, if you've ever heard of them. They are basically the biggest in the business. We worked out a fantastic discount program with them. So if anybody wants to email me, I can send you that flyer we have that you can take advantage of that discount. You do have to be signed up with us to get that. So that might be a little bit of encouragement if you haven't already. Essentially, what they do is they'll waive their monthly service fee. For your first $500 spend, they'll match with $500 of leads. And then there's a discount after that. But I'm not an expert in that. We just make that available for people who are interested in doing that, because we do get a lot of people asking us about leads. How do true stage products compare? True stage products are fantastic. I will tell you, price-wise, our core term product is very, very price competitive, particularly when you're going to compare it against other folks who aren't doing an exam. In terms of true stage, again, that's generally our whole life products. They're price competitive. They're not going to blow people out of the water with the price. What is really different about them, particularly their guaranteed issue product, what's really different is just the really easy application. And the easy sign-on process with it. Do we have critical illness benefits? No, actually we do not. We don't have any of those living benefit riders at this point. Not that we won't any day. We're actually looking at a bunch of different things. We're looking at getting an index universal life. That'll happen sometime this year. We're also looking at potentially doing different benefit riders, but right now we don't. Yeah, great question about non-med app for certain face amounts. Yeah, that's because our process is actually so sophisticated and is kind of head and shoulders above the process of a lot of the other folks. We don't do. We'll do very similar underwriting. We will change the algorithm based upon what the face amount is, but for a term app, as an example, we're going to underwrite a $250,000 policy, very similar to the way we underwrite $1 million policy. We're not going to be doing, particularly because we can do so much of our stuff online and we do it immediately. We're not going to have particularly different underwriting for smaller face amounts than for larger. Okay.
Bill, you might need to put your email in the chat again. I'm going to put my email in there
again. Yes. It's Bill Kennedy, Bill.Kennedy, but the actual dot doesn't matter. If you ever send people emails at GetEthos. Oh, I typed it wrong. GetEthos.com. There you go. It's bill.kennedy@getethos.com. Yep, there's no fees to sign up whatsoever. And we work strictly with independent agents. There's no exclusivity. Again, you don't even have to be exclusive with if you're selling with one of the carriers that we work with. We do not have any sort of exclusivity or anything like that. And yeah, that's great.
When you sent your email, did you send it to everyone in the chat, or did you just send it to one person directly?
I sent direct messages. That's what I did wrong. Hey, thank you. Technology is great.
I figured, I was like, I don't see it either.
Except when it isn't.
Mr. David in the chat was correct. He's like, I don't see it. He was on to something.
Yeah. And, here talking about the technical wizardry that Ethos has, I should be a little bit more technically proficient. I'm pretty good. But the great news is we have literally at this point, hundreds of technology experts who are doing the real stuff. I'm just kind of the nerdy sales guy.
So it looks like that's pretty much all the questions, folks. And so we'll go ahead and wrap it up today. So again, as you can see, Ethos is a powerful, powerful technology company. It's changing the game. The first thing I said at the beginning of this conversation is the next upcoming consumers, your customers, your clients over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years are millennials, are Gen Z, that 23, 24-year-old couple that gets married and buys their first house and needs mortgage protection. Those are your customers. Those are the people that are going to be putting food on your table, if you will. And so I can tell you, as being a millennial, quick, fast, easy purchasing is it's what we like. That's why Amazon is killing it with really everybody, but that's why Amazon, has such a big advantage, because you can buy something and then the next day you have a box on your front porch. And Ethos is taking that same concept of easy purchasing for life insurance for folks. You can get life insurance. You don't have to go through that nasty, horrific underwriting process that takes 2 months. It's quick. It's easy. This is the way that this is the future of how life insurance is going to be sold and purchased. And so I suggest, I would advise you to get on the game early. Obviously you can see Ethos is really like a one-stop shop. If you need to sell final expense, they have their guaranteed issued products. If you need to sell term, like Bill said, there are IULs, universal policies, that are coming to the market with Ethos over the next year. So it is a one-stop shop. So I would encourage everybody to open up the chat, click that link that I put in there. It only takes a couple of minutes to get appointed. And if you have any questions, if you have any further questions, need commission schedules, you want the recording of today's meeting, just email us at agentservices@acmgsales.com, and we will definitely send you whatever you need. But Melinda said med exams. Bill already answered. No medical exams. Doesn't that hype you up? No medical exams. No examiner needs to go to your client's office and draw blood and get a urine sample. None of that. Ethos definitely kicked that to the curb, which is wonderful. So that looks like all the questions. Thanks so much for joining us today, everybody. Hope that you saw some value. Keep your eyes out for when we send future emails, because we always have the latest and greatest, and we're here to serve you. So we will see you all next time. Have an amazing week. Take care. Thank you, Bill. Great job today.
Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day.